But for better or worse, Savers popped its secondhand P word today. I guess because it was National Thrift Store Day. Like when I walked in, I almost immediately knew I was cooked, as the kids would say. Also, live, laugh, love that I'm 30 seconds into this video and already stringing together like indecipherable sentence fragments about thrifting. Very cool and serious, Lucia. Even though I'm starting off this video being silly though, this is very serious because this video is mostly about thrifting for grad school art supplies, among many very serious and incredibly important things. Grad school feels insane to say, by the way, because I'm literally about to look at like lacy teddy bear curtains and like frilly baskets to store novelty buttons and other art supplies in. I'll save you my spiel, but basically I'm primarily a textile artist and I try to use as many thrifted materials as possible because ideally I would love to make art and not harm our planet. Anyway, because of that, I was on a mission today and I was trying to only get things for school. That mission, of course, got sidetracked, but we'll get into that later in the haul. Basically, before I went thrifting, I made a wish list that I'll put on screen, but I mostly just wanted to get things to use as art materials or clothing to upcycle to practice sewing because I'm trying to integrate sewing into my art and I want to get better at it. All of that to say, I simply had no business being in the kitchen section and looking at floral plate sets of 10, but of course I was there anyway. I may or may not have also even convinced myself that a mug is a very practical way to store paintbrushes. Like, fucking sue me and every other girl with good taste, but I love looking at porcelain objects that are older than I am. Also, okay, hello, like talk about a tall glass of water. I was literally filming this though and I was thinking, why am I looking at cute napkin holders and pot holders? Anyway, on the bright side, there were a lot of things to look at in like the houseware textile section. There were also a fair amount of like straight up art supplies like beads and like fake stamps for scrapbooking, but nothing that particularly caught my eye. Also, normally the curtain section doesn't get that much action for me because, to be totally transparent, obviously pun intended, I only have 2 windows in my apartment, so I don't like need to be buying curtains all the time, and actually, to be honest, I have none. Like, I'm never really in the curtain section, and I guess no one else is either because they were aisles of like beautiful curtains that clearly no one had picked through. Anyway, after the homeware section, this was my cart. I don't know if you can tell on camera, but it was already kind of very full. I very briefly went to like the toddler section to look for tiny dresses for my embroidery, and then I went to the purse section because I thought it would be practical to buy like pouches. I didn't find any that I liked, and then I was like, fuck it, I guess I'm gonna look at clothes. And the inventory was kind of like insanely lovely, and as someone who is here with regularity, I thought it seemed like they'd been saving some of their best pieces for this special day, which felt very sweet. Did I come to Savers for a skirt today? Fuck no. Did I get one? Yes. Also, this is my outfit of the day, featuring my walking boot. I went kind of nuts getting shirts, and I'm a little embarrassed about how many frivolous things I ended up getting on this trip. I'm really excited to style all of them. I don't know, I feel really conflicted, but clearly not enough to not tell an ambiguous number of strangers about it online. Also, you'll be happy to know there was, as always, no shortage of perfect and corny graphic t-shirts. Also on this trip in particular, I was trying to look for blouses that were either like Y2K Twee Zooey Deschanel or like Office Siren vibes. I actually ended up getting one that I think fits the Office Siren aesthetic really well, and I'm really excited about it. Anyway, I went through my overflowing cart and I put back a whopping 3 items, so big oopsie. I'm back home and I think this is gonna be my biggest thrift haul ever, so strap in and maybe grab a snack because this might be a long one. And by a long one, I do mean like 5 to 10 minutes probably, because I tend to talk kind of quickly and really run through things. I'm honestly kind of embarrassed about how much I got, just because like I'd like to think that if there's one thing I have in this world, it is at least a little bit of self-control at the thrift store. Just a little bit. In my defense, like 60% of the stuff in this haul, approximately, not to be really good at math, is for grad school, and the other 40%, I mean, like, we all make mistakes. I don't regret any of them though. Anyway, the first part of this haul is gonna be like art supplies for grad school, i.e. very silly vintage textiles. And the second half of the haul is gonna be clothing and the admittedly unnecessary and somewhat frivolous things that I got because I don't know the next time I'm gonna have time to trek to my favorite suburban thrift store. I've really been wanting to start making like sculptures out of fabric, which is one of the reasons I mentioned that I wanna buy a sewing machine earlier. A lot of this will hopefully be turned into like wall art or sculptures at some point. And I also got a few things to embroider. Okay, I actually need to shut up and get into the haul because I've been yapping for like 10 minutes. Okay, the first thing that I got is for my studio because I'm gonna have my own studio, and it is this like basket with all these compartments. I feel like this is the kind of thing that I would have imagined, like, wow, that would be so great if that existed. Unfortunately, why would that exist? Like, who else is looking for like a frilly basket with like little hearts and a big ass bow on the front to like store their art supplies? Like, this was literally made for me on this trip. So I was really happy to find this. I think that this is just gonna be perfect to like hold like pens, pencils, brushes, that kind of a thing. This I'm not so sure about because it's kind of like big and gaping, ew. But I really am excited about this though. I think that this is gonna be so cute on my desk, which I will hopefully have. This is practical and you can't convince me otherwise. Like, this is the most practical thing I own now. I don't know about that, but I actually do think that this is like an adult purchase. Okay, get real. Another thing I got for my studio is this Precious Moments Sweetheart mug. Okay, look, I just have like a lot of like old ephemera lying around that I use for my art, and I thought it would be really convenient to have like small vessels in which to hold my little junk. Also, I can only pass on so many Precious Moments mugs before I have to buy one. I would say it's like 1 in every 5. Like every 5 mugs, I'm like, I guess I have to buy this Precious Moments mug, but the other 4, I pass on bravely. And you know what? Honestly, that's not a great track record, but I'm working on it. This will also be good to hold. Like, I was gonna say like vertical things, like pens and shit. I don't know. I don't have that many pens, so that's like not the medium that I work in. Okay, and now moving into like the materials that I got to make my art. Talked big game in my voiceover about like the curtain section, and I have reason to, because look at this. Basically, it's this like curtain that has teddy bears and this rocking horse and all these blocks and shit on it. How freaking cute is this? One thing you should know about me, it's that I'm a hoe for anything like frilly and lacy, and I really love teddy bears as like a motif for art. So you can only imagine when I saw this big lace curtain with all these teddy bears on it, I lost my marbles. This is also the kind of thing where I'm like, oh my God, I want to talk to the previous owner of these curtains because she has incredible taste, and not to assume her gender, but I just assume it's like a girly with good taste who's like the same as me. Speaking of curtains, I think this is a curtain. Honestly, couldn't really tell what a lot of this was. Look at this. This is like a haul of nothing. This one is like 2 layers. The front part is lace, okay? And then the second part is sort of like a lining for the inside. I think that honestly, when I use these, I'm gonna use both layers at the same time because I think they look so pretty together. Although maybe I'll separate them. Another like vintage textile with like an ambiguous function, but I think it's a curtain, was just this like beige and brown kind of crochet trim, long ass curtain. Not to sound like a sad beige mom about it, but I have been looking for textiles or like fabric to use that is beige and brown. In particular, I had this like random vision in my head that I don't know how it got there, of like a Y2K beige pillowcase with ditzy brown polka dots. In a way, this sort of matched the vision that I had in my head of that, so I was really happy to find this. Speaking of polka dot pillowcases though, I kind of lucked out on my vision of like finding a pillowcase with ditzy polka dots because I got this one. This is the back, okay? We love her. She is blue with very small white polka dots. Look at the fucking front of this thing. Is this some kind of joke to you? Because it's not funny to me. This is very, very deeply serious. Oh my God, I love it so much. At the bottom, there's like a little trim of birds. Also, this pillowcase gets like better every time I look at it because I just noticed that all of the bunnies are wearing like my favorite shoes, i.e. saddle shoes and Mary Jane's. Like fucking get real. Whoever designed this is a genius. This is kind of random and I never buy like craft kits at the thrift store, but I found this one that is so cute. It's a fabulous fabric frame kit, and it just has a bunch of like fabric and like instructions and templates to make these frames. My fucking God. Also, the fabric that it came with is so precious, and like it came with this lace trim. Honestly, I went into this trip obviously like looking for materials for grad school, but I might actually just like do the kit and like make little fabric frames. Although if I don't end up using the kit, I could always just like repurpose the fabric in this anyway. So it is ultimately kind of a win-win. Speaking of things that I got in the bag section that I'm not exactly sure how I'm gonna use in my art, but I'm determined to find a way. Can we talk about this like potpourri teddy bear and rabbit? Come on. These need to be incorporated into my art somehow. Okay, I'm gonna be crazy and take them out of the bag because I don't think their beauty is coming across on camera in the bag. Kind of smells bad. Not gonna lie. But look at this bitch. Oh my God, I love her so much. Okay, like shabby chic icon. And then check out this bitch. Honestly, she looks fabulous and botched at the same time. I don't know, there's like a bunch of shit, like ambiguous, just like shit, not actual shit. She is a little bit raggedy, I'm not gonna lie, but I love her. I am gonna have to clean her up because she is kind of disgusting. Last 3 things that I got are like baby clothes. A lot of my favorite pieces that I made in the past year or so have been like embroidered doll / baby dresses with like bittersweet emo sayings on them. By the way, I don't know if this is just me, but every time I'm in like the baby / toddler section of the thrift store looking at like miniature clothing, I'm like, I don't want a kid, but like this could convince me, honestly. I'm joking. Feeling of being very mildly convinced is very brief because then I remember, oh my God, I would have to like have a kid forever. So first piece of like miniature baby clothing that I got is this green velvet dress with these rosettes on it. I thought that the top part, I don't know how to hold this. I thought that the top part would be like really cute to embroider a little phrase on, something emo maybe. I also really love this absolutely microscopic like Peter Pan color blouse with a ruffly collar and this like rosette pattern. Oh, so precious. I don't know exactly what I want to do with this yet, but I've been thinking about making like sculptural dolls with like some sort of conceptual message to them. So I thought that this would be cute maybe to like put on one of them if I ever make that I got from the little baby toddler section to use as like art materials before I get into all the frivolous little dumb things that I got for myself to keep is this tiered almost like Morike dress. I think that this is so precious, and if I could find this in my size, I fucking would. Thing that I saw and I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna make it work, but I'm gonna make it work. This is so precious and tiny. Ugh, I love her. Anyway, now to get into like the collateral damage, which is the frivolous and somewhat unnecessary clothing that I bought. The first thing that I got is this tank top with Tinkerbell on it that says Starlit on it. It is so incredibly Y2K, and I'm not really a Disney girly by any means, but I thought that this was so cute. Also, I'm like, Starlit? Yeah, that's right. I have like 1,600 subscribers on YouTube. No autographs. I just like this is the kind of thing that when I was a kid in like 2004, I would have seen like a young adult wearing this and I would have been like, oh my God, that is like a real woman. Like that's like such a cool girl. The next thing that I got is something that I sort of referenced wanting a few videos ago in my like Pinterest inspired fall shopping with me video. In that, I've been wanting to find more clothing that's like Bella Swan core or like the Bella Swan from Twilight aesthetic. And I feel like this t-shirt fits the bill. It's just this brown and white striped t-shirt with like a built-in cami. I feel like this is the kind of t-shirt that Bella would be wearing with like low-rise jeans, which by the way, I will never wear and you cannot pay me to wear low-rise jeans, but she would be wearing them with low-rise jeans. And Edward would be being like totally normal in the corner of biology, just like huffing her smell, which sounds crazy and creepy, but it's actually so beautiful if you watch the movie. It's okay, because like that's true eternal love. So anyway, that's why I got this shirt. I mentioned this in like the thrift with me part of the video, but I've been wanting to find a blouse that's like office siren core, and I think I found one. It's this apartment 9 red blouse. I just thought that this blouse with like a mini skirt and a pair of like Y2K rectangular eyeglasses and chunky Mary Janes would be so office siren and cute. Here's the thing, this blouse is like a poly cotton blend. If you've been on my channel before, you know that I'm always yapping about fabric content for some reason, even though to be totally clear, I'm not like that educated about fabric content by any means, but if there was a drinking game about my YouTube channel, you would take a shot every time I mention fabric content. And if you like binge watched my channel and did that drinking game, you would be hospitalized by the last video. Anyway, all of that to say, if you see my channel before, you'd probably know that I hate the way that polyester feels on my skin. I hate that it's like not breathable at all. But also I never know how to feel about buying it even secondhand, because on one hand, I'm like, okay, if no one buys this, it's gonna end up in a landfill, which is bad, obviously. But then if someone does buy it and then they wash it, it's gonna like end up in the water supply. And like, I never know how to feel about that. If anyone is even remotely educated on this and has any opinions about buying polyester secondhand, please let me know. I feel like it is a net positive to be reusing it. At the same time, I'm like, oh my God, I'm putting it in the water supply every time I wash it. Maybe there's a way to minimize that. I have to look into that. Also, I got another polyester shirt. The second polyester blouse that I got really resembles the like vision of that beige and white pillowcase that I had in my head, although the colors are inverted. Are you kidding? This is like basically exactly the pillowcase that I was hoping to find, but in shirt form. And honey, I'll take it, even though it is polyester. Also, while I was at the thrift store, I was wearing this denim dress that I'd upcycled, and I just thought that this blouse would look really cute peeking out from under it, because the beige in this blouse would match like the beige in the applique tapestry that I'd put on the dress. I got another pink tank top that's like kind of like Y2K coquette in a way, and it's this pink and white diagonally striped like v-neck tank top with like a built-in cami bra. I just thought that this would be very cute to wear on a day where like I mostly don't give a fuck about how I look, which like, to be fair, is a lot of days. Sometimes I just want to be in an outfit that I can sweat through and like not care about it. That being said, I also got a skirt, by the way, I think is very like Harper from Wizards of Waverly Place coded, and like your quirky eccentric art teacher from elementary school coded. This midi skirt that has like ditzy polka dots and stripes and flowers and like these like painted on details and also like this embroidery at the top. It's very busy and there's a lot going on. It would be really easy to style in like a twee way with like a Peter Pan color blouse and Mary Janes. Speaking of like Y2K twee, I also got these polka dot clip-on earrings. These are kind of out of my comfort zone and also Harper from Wizards of Waverly Place coded, but because I've been saving a lot of things on Pinterest that are like green and white polka dots, I was like, these are straight off of one of my Pinterest boards and I'm gonna make them work somehow. And then the last thing that I got is decidedly very unnecessary, and it is this unnecessarily large poster. As you can probably tell from the rest of the haul, I love anything vintage that's like overly sweet and sentimental and kitschy. So I thought that this would be the perfect addition to my apartment. Also, this is gonna sound kind of silly, but I am being very vulnerable when I admit this. And that is that I thought that this poster would look really cute in the background of like B-roll when I'm taking shots of my outfits for my YouTube channel, which you're watching right now. Anyway, that's it for my silly little haul. Okay, because grad school is rapidly approaching, I might do a video soon that's like pack with me for my art school studio or something. So please let me know if that video idea sounds even remotely interesting, or if you'd rather die than watch it. Anyway, thank you so much for watching me talk about my new favorite frilly secondhand goods, and hopefully I'll see you around in another video. Bye! And then the second half of this haul is gonna be, oh my god,